or one side or the other. So by the time this sets, it'll set in the incorrect occlusion. Okay. For now, for the purpose of this project, we'll be just fine. So right now, what I'm gonna do is, as I'm waiting for this to set, you will see how these will turn not hard as the hard acrylic, but it'll turn hard enough that you can manage it without sticking into your fingers or stuff like that. Maybe you want to leave it alone right there for a little bit. You'll see. Remember, you have a little extra right here.
You can test it, right?
Where you can test it. You can use a little bit of Vaseline around here so it's not setting, or the little leftovers of the WD-40 we used. And this is the consistency.
Now this isn't normal WD-40. The WD-40 makes a whole bunch of different lubricants. This is the gel lube. So don't go to the store and get WD-40 and spray it in your patient's mouth. Don't spray this in the patient's mouth. This is for
we don't use WD-40 for patients. We just do WD-40 for Mr. Dentures.
I understand it works good on arthritis, but you know, in your hand.
Like it says here, right? for different joints. Normally, it takes about 4 minutes intraorally to finish up the setting. Now remember, intraorally, the temperature is a little bit warmer, right, than here in the 7th floor lab. So over here, it's gonna take a little bit longer to get to the same stage of polymerization of this material. But if you see it, this is a satisfying texture that we have here.
And it's kind of like when you test an impression, you punch something in it, and if it rebounds all the way, you know it's got memory and it's ready to go. If you press something in it and it maintains that, then it's still not set all the way.
See? It's not set yet. Like Dr. Wally says, it's still. Right? Whenever you see that it's setting, it'll just not let me go in. It's getting there. It's getting there. We have here Dr. Van's previous testing. This one's been setting here for quite some time already. And let me show you how.
At least 30 minutes, yeah.
You see? Doesn't let me go any more than that. Okay? This is the consistency of the material already set. Now, think about it. This material now, it's in contact with the mucosa. It's in contact with the edentulous area in the intaglio. So you got a nice little cushion here for patients that need a little bit of relief on those tissues, for patients that have that ill-fitting denture, and we're just giving that.
Well, look at the impression it made on the bottom of the cup.
Right, exactly. This is my testing. It's pretty much getting very close to that. Let's see in the patient's mouth. It's still not ready yet. I want you guys to count at least 5 minutes before you even move it out of Mr. Denture's, okay? This video is live, uncut. We'll see how it goes. We've been testing different kind of lubricants, see which one works best for Mr. Edentulous. Again, I will repeat, the mixing ratio of the powder is let's say it's 10, so this one will be half, 5 of milliliters per 10 cc's of powder. Okay, we get that mixture, and the mixture will just set within 5 to 7 minutes.
At least in the oral cavity at body temperature instead of room temperature like here.
Exactly. Probably this will take a little bit longer.
Yeah, let me pause this then. We're rolling.
So after 5 to 7 minutes, more 7 than 5, we're gonna take this off and try to work it out. And if you lubricate it well, this is what we got. And what we have here is an even coat of soft liner material without bubbles all around. And this is basically what we're looking for when we're doing this in the clinic, okay? Now, what we need to do is we need to get rid of all these excess. The best way to do this, there's, like we always say, there's many ways to do this, but you can always heat up an instrument. And because this material will still be soft, it's better to burn it out as you cut it. As you're cutting it, you're burning it out. That way, you're not stretching it. Sorry about that. I think it looks better like this. You see how I'm burning as I'm burning.
Just melting it away.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm melting it away. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Thank you, Wally. You see? So you go like that again, like this. So that way now on the buccal portion of it, you have a nice transition between the leftover acrylic, the acrylic you had, and the new base.
Now be careful when some of the material's on your instrument and it
See how it
flames
gets
like
burned?
that, it might set that paper on fire. I've had that happen.
Okay, good tip. So we're gonna go all around trying to get these. See, it might set that on fire. Be careful. Look, it's setting on fire right there, Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he predicted it.
That's right. I knew Pallavicini could do it.
Yeah.
He could set the lab on fire.
Then we just go around. I'm gonna melt this option part here. And this is the project we're doing. This is the first project of the Special Dentures Technique. 2020, 2021, right?
Right there.
In the back, because we don't have, we're just gonna go with the posterior limit. As you see, I'm melting this away. I don't want to do this on Mr. Denture's mouth or my patient's mouth, right? Then I'll try it in again later on. For this project, we're doing only the upper denture, right, Wallace?
That's correct.
Once you have it like that, then you can always get a blade cut so we can.
You're rolling.
So once you got the major or melt the major part out, you can always go with a fine blade and cut certain parts. But at the end, I think the melting, if you see here, you can do either or both. But when you melt it,
can really make it smooth.
You can really, exactly.
And see that scalpel, if you heat it up, it can sink in and cut into the hard acrylic. And that makes it real rough. But I actually dull my roach carver before I use it for this purpose. And the other end of the roach carver, if you're doing an immediate denture reline, the reline's going to go up into the old extraction site, and you can use that scooped in, can go in and actually scoop out. We don't have that on this
You like
mannequin, but
my simulation?
yeah.
So basically this is what I want. Now, at the very end, what I'm looking for is just a continuation between the hard acrylic and the new denture base or soft reline. Okay? So to get this project signed off, I want everyone to have melted and cut all the excess out of your material, of the denture. Just like I'm doing it. Then you can go and study. They've got, I think they've got pathology or something like that today. I mean tomorrow. But you see what I'm relining, or I'm resting the knife or the carver on the hard part of the acrylic, and that's giving me the right angulation of where to cut. Use your instrument very hot so it runs much more smooth.
Now, I know people that use waxing instruments like y'all have, but it has a blade, and that way it stays hot the whole time. You don't have to go back to the torch.
I've seen them doing it too. Yes, you're right. Look, if your instrument is nice and hot, it'll melt away very, very easy. Oops. So at the end, I have the limits, very well carved, no excess on the buckle, no excess at all on the buckle, okay? You can even get a gauze with a little bit of alcohol and finish up cleaning the excess of it. You like it?
See,
Thank you.
sí, señor.
Oh, let's try it with Mr. Denture's. And now I have a very well fitted, stable, retentive denture. Okay.
Just be sure you've told the patient to come back and get it relined or another denture made, because they'll think it is so comfortable.
Yes.
They disappear, and a year later they're there, and it's turned to sandpaper.
It turns to sandpaper, and also what can happen is if this stays too long in the patient's mouth, fungi can grow in it.
Oh man,
right?
yucky.
And it stinks. So this is a very good solution, but it's a good temporary solution. At the end, you need to always change these for a hard reline.
Right.
Salud.